Well, hello, everybody. This is actually the very first show where we're going to be rebranded to Fun Sports Podcast, formerly known as Fun Football Podcast. And this is a fantasy football special that we've got for you guys here today. We are going to be talking mostly Dynasty football, Dynasty fantasy football. And I'm extremely excited. Got my co host, Med, on the right. Med, how are you doing, bud?
Tired.
Same.
It's summer in South Carolina, and I work in
Poor.
HVAC, so oof.
I'm not outside, but the AC is not great at the school, and I've been up since 4, so I totally understand.
It's crazy weather in
Um,
Arizona.
I normally wake up at 7, so 4 is early. I didn't want to. Anyways, I'm very excited. My dad is a huge fan of the IDP show. This is the IDP After Show, the host of that. We have Jeff. I'm gonna say your last name right. Pomazal.
You got it. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yes, excellent,
Bonus
awesome.
points.
Happy.
Yeah.
That's good. Man, I'm extremely excited to have you here. Why don't you, before we get going with we were talking behind the scenes, and I was having a blast. Why don't you tell everybody about the IDP show, how long you've done it, what you guys do, when you guys go live, and yeah, anything. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Awesome. I appreciate having me on, especially for the inaugural podcast. This is a pretty big deal. So
Yeah,
it's maiden voyage. Yeah. So I've been with the IDP show for last 5-6 years, writing articles, creating content, and we kind of have two flagships. We've got the IDP show, which is like the main show, and John Macri, who used to work at PFF, is now kind of running that part of it. So if you have any familiarity with any of the stuff that he does, it's fantastic work. And so he takes care of all that side. But then we have like the after show, which is kind of like talks about a little more of the dynasty stuff, the trades, best ball, those kind of things like that. So it's kind of a more of a niche topic kind of centered thing. So we got the website up too. Everything is like just rolling, and like you said, it's full on draft season. We've got everyone in training camp now, so news and notes are coming fast and furious.
awesome, man. Yeah, this is the time for it. It really is. We just did have a dynasty draft. I want to get into it, but for anyone that's starting dynasty football, to be honest with you, I'm kind of a noob. Year 3, I'm learning a lot. I've learned a lot the last, especially this year. I was telling you behind the scenes, I started going really heavy with. I tried to go all in last season. Med's not in on that team. We started so we started one league in 24, and we started the other one last year. And I did something wild in that draft. I'm sure Med has thoughts on. We'll get to in a minute. But for anyone starting dynasty football, what do you take as the biggest differences between dynasty and redraft?
The biggest thing I feel that the difference between redraft and dynasty obviously is like the longevity that you're gonna have those players, and you have to think in 2 or 3 year windows rather than just immediate production. Like, so if you're a team that's built to win right now, you're going to do everything you can just to uh, everything to win that championship that you can. So you might have to sacrifice a future first to get that. But if you're a rebuild team, you might be that team that's kind of taking advantage of those teams that are going kind of all in. And then you're selling those older assets, like like maybe like a Saquon Barkley will be a team that puts a team over the top this year, but he might net you a player and a future pick. So just kind of the stock market piece of the dynasty is a lot of fun, and that's probably why anybody who ever plays dynasty football, that's what they're kind of into, is that stock market, buying low, selling high, and it's year round. It's not just from your draft in August to the Super Bowl in January. It's literally a year round. To do well in it, I think you do need to be a year round participant. So
That's the thing that's I personally really like about it, especially in my other league. It's $200. Everyone's really in all year. Like, I've been making trades almost every month, and I love the fact that I think what everybody likes about a redraft team is that you feel like a GM, but in this you feel even more like a GM because you're getting picks, and it's more like building an NFL team. That's what I'm really enjoying. There's my uncle who just tried it with us, doesn't seem to be enjoying as much, and there's some big differences. And that one's not even IDP. The one I'm in with Med, it's just a team defense, special teams, and then we're running double flex. But But I think the thing I do enjoy about it is you get draft picks to move around. It gives it, you feel more like a GM. I think that's what I'm enjoying out of it. And then in our IDP league, I'm getting to scout like a Sonny Styles, a Caleb Downs. I drafted David Bailey in the 5th round. I can't believe he was available at pick 52. That was wild. I did flip him today for Torrey Horton, and I got a 3rd out of it. So I got value already. Might have, we'll talk about it. Yep. But Ned, you got any questions? I've got so many. Any thoughts? I
got questions, but I think that my questions will probably be something that probably will be a little bit more towards the end, like in the middle of the show. Basically, me personally, I haven't ever played in a league that had an individual defensive player, but I guess I'll go ahead and pop the question. When you're looking at a player, now I did do some research, and as I said, linebackers and defensive ends are typically the 2 that you really look after. What would be, not trying to dig too much into your own playbook here, Jeff, but what kind of player would you actually be looking for when you are drafting in a individual player?
Yeah. And so a lot of that has to do with the scoring of your league, just like every other league that you're playing in. If you're playing in a PPR league, or if you're playing in like a touchdown heavy league or whatever it is, it's so true, even more so on the defensive side of the ball. You could play in what's really popular is called Big 3 scoring, where you reward heavily for sacks, for pass defenses and things like that. Or you could play in a tackle heavy league. So depending on the scoring format, really kind of dictates the approach to your build. Also, how many players you're starting in each position. Now, I know that IDP is kind of a really growing part of fantasy football. Right. And if I were to suggest teams or leagues that we're going to start it, just jump in the deep end. Don't do the 2 or 3 individual defensive players per league, because there's so many players that are available that it just kind of like makes it kind of devalues the position. I would really strongly press for, like if you have 7 offensive starters, have 7 defensive starters, have 2 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, 2 defensive backs, and a flex. So that you really get the feel of like the value of those types of players. I went on a little soapbox.
No, you're good. That's exactly what I wanted you to do.
Yeah.
We're trying to get you to
spill your knowledge. I'll spill the beans. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you all my secrets. If I'm playing in like a big sack league, like where defensive linemen get rewarded pretty well for that, obviously you're going to be looking at your like Max Crosby's, your Brian Burns, your Will Anderson Jr.'s, those type of players who are not only going to be on the field a lot, because being on the field is really important in IDP, because if you're not on the field, you can't score. So those types of players are going to be really well. If I'm playing in a tackle league, you're going to want those linebackers, because those linebackers, they often wear the green dot, and that green dot is kind of like the quarterback of the defense, where they're going to be on the field making plays. And I'm looking, like at your Carson Schwessingers, your Jack Campbell type players, because they're on the field 99% of the plays and they're not coming off. And when you play further away from the ball, there's more opportunity to miss plays. So that's why defensive backs, we're always big on what's called fade the DB, because you can always find defensive backs late in drafts. You don't need your Derwin James to be like your pick, because you can get just as good a value a couple rounds later. So,
well, and like I've noticed that like Xavier McKinney, I mean, this is a homer example, but I picked up Nick Cross, who's a great tackler, but then he switched from Indy to Washington. He was number 2 last year. Odds are he's gonna be like 12 this year, because it's such a volatile position. DBs are volatile, was what I've been learning, and it's hard. I mean, you can get a guy that's like Micah Parsons that gets a lot of sacks, but if he doesn't get a lot of tackles too, like a Myles Garrett, then it drops his value. We also brought down our like how much our tackles were worth. I'd have to look at the scoring, but I think it was 1.5 points, and we dropped it to I think 0.75. We're learning how to do the scoring, but DB is volatile. I mean, McKinney had 8 interceptions 2 years ago. Last year 2. That dropped his point. He was still good, but it dropped him significantly at DB. Caleb Downs actually went early 2nd round. I saw in one of your recent mocks, Jeff, that he was in that range. Sonny Styles was actually late 1st, but Caleb Downs was early 2nd. Arvell Reese went extremely high. In ours, we had 3 in the 1st round. I think you guys had 4. So it was pretty close. Yep. But I like your take, man. Good stuff.
And the thing with everyone this time of year, every team has a chance to win, whether it's in the real NFL or fantasy league. Every team is a contender right now. So you're going to do everything you can. And there's just that sense of like that hopium that this player is going to be the player that's unlock it, and there's so many like nuances with the game. Like, it's not just a nickelback anymore. It's like, is it a safety? Is it a strong safety? Is it a cornerback? Is it a guy that's coming up and playing the slot? Because those like box snaps are really important. And, all of this content and all this rankings, you can find it over on our website. You can actually customize the rankings. You can download our rankings in an Excel form and customize them to your league. And the league will generate scoring projections based on your league scoring to help you with your draft and maybe even help you with trades. So if you're not over there on the website, it's an awesome feature. It's, and then if you do the paid content, there's even like other options that are open. We've got roster evals, we've got trade calculators, everything like that. And the one thing that's really unique about our site is we have combined offense and defensive ranks, which a lot of sites either have just offensive ranks or just defensive ranks. So it's sometimes hard to dictate the value of players, but that's just one of the feathers in our hat that we got going on over here. So.
And I think if I'm correct, I'm going to present this really quick. This is what you're talking about. Hold on.
Drum roll. Yes,
so
that's us. Yep.
We're going to use one of my emails. Oh, well, we're going to just do the free for right now. And then let's check this out.
Actually, I can screen share too. If I now give you a little peek behind the scene.
I actually watch you guys on YouTube, so that'll help. Yeah, you want to do it?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So.
Yeah, my dad, when he watches you guys, he shows me on YouTube. So yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love the Barry Sanders. I hadn't seen that.
I saw the Barry Sanders.
Yeah. That's one line I'll support. Calvin Johnson too.
All day.
Yeah, it's tough. You can't defeat the GOAT there. So
no, he's. Yeah.
I agree with that too. And this is one of the good things about this for people like Jason out there, where he can actually build his team with all this information and have a possibility of his team actually making the championship, like he always tells us every
year. Yeah. I can't wait to get Jeff's reactions. And Med, I want to get yours on our draft and all the insane trading I pulled off. I gotta get your thoughts soon.
Definitely.
Here we go.
And just real quick, we have this right here. A guy asking a question about Ibuka or Devontae Smith. Me personally, with all the stuff that's going on right now, I think Devontae Smith may be a higher target for me because he already has. Ibuka kind of fell off towards the end of last year, in my eyes.
He did, and so. Baker seemed to hit a wall. I know he had that shoulder injury. Jeff, what's your thoughts? I know it was it's a redraft question, but what do you think? Ibuka or Devonta, who'd you draft first? PPR.
I think the answer for me is going to be the same, whether it's Dynasty or if it's going to be redraft. I think Ibuka is set this year. Mayfield's got that contract issue going on. He's going to go up. He's going to be playing for that next payday. No Mike Evans anymore there. We saw what Ibuka was doing prior to Mayfield having like every ailment under the sun. So I think it's Ibuka. I just don't like the sustainability of the passing offense of Philly. They're a run-centric team. So I just don't know with like Mekhi Lemon coming in there. They're probably going to allow to run a 12 personnel and get Eli Stowers a lot on the field. So I just don't know. Like I love Devontae Smith as like a wide receiver too, but drafting him ahead of Ibuka for me is not for me.
And some people, and a buddy who drafted Ibuka in he has him in 2 dynasties in both of the ones I'm in with him. And his argument, no man, I have a Facebook setting. I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize. That's our buddy Peter. He pops in. He comes on the show sometimes with us. He's great. He'll be on the show soon. But my one concern with Ibuka, it did seem like he geared up for the national championship, and he was banged up, but I still was really like he looked amazing, but he hit such a rookie wall so hard. That does concern me a bit. So, I mean,
That
like
team hit the wall, though.
they really did. The whole
like
team just
everything
went.
felt-
And I'm worried that Baker. Here's the problem with Baker, Jeff and Med. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. Problem with Baker is he's one of the most hot and cold QBs in the NFL. He might be the definition of that. When the guy is on, he's. I mean, honestly, fantasy he's top. Some weeks he's top 3, but he's at least top 5, even without a lot of running. But when he's off, it's just it's not working. The shoulder is in a good. I mean, that might have been why, but we've seen this in the past with him. He's been almost out of the NFL, and then he's been a top 10 QB. So I'm concerned.
For a reason.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned. Jeff, you want to show us?
Yeah, I'm gonna try here. Is it showing up now, or am I not?
There we go.
You're there.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay.
There you
yeah.
go.
So this is our website. Once you're past the whatever subscription style you'd like to get there, we've got articles, videos popping up every day, different looks at rankings of different positions. If you guys are familiar in IDP with Johnny the Greek or Mike Woolert, they do work also writing articles, rankings, videos. So we just got like every day there's something new, as you can see, like the dates here, like the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, there are all these different things. We just had our rookie redraft guide come out, and in our redraft guide, we were all in on the 16-bit looks here. So we break down every team. We've got everything
I love it.
as far as like
That's pretty cool.
Projections, where they were playing, like we mentioned earlier, like the box snaps, and those are those really important snaps where they play close to the line of scrimmage. So if you can get a safety or a defensive back that plays a lot of those box snaps, they're going to be a little bit better than someone who maybe plays deeper, like a free safety kind of position. But yeah, so we're all in on all of these rankings and things like that. But then we've got also, I was kind of mentioning all of these different rankings and things like that. So every position
I was telling my dad, I was like, he needs to go on there.
Yeah. So we got linebacker, defensive back rating. But like I was mentioning too, we've got like even combined rankings for drafts. So like if you're playing a 1 QB league, a super flex league, best ball leagues, all of it's all right here. And then like I was mentioning too, we've got different kinds of scoring, trade calculators, depth charts, all of these types of things. So it's very well worth the price of admission, if that's something that if you're really into that. So go from there. So is there anything else you guys wanted to see on the site there before we?
Yeah, there's a question that you can answer through the site.
Perfect.
And it's sort of what Matt asked earlier, but it's a specific, we could pick a position.
Yep.
So you want to pick DL is probably the most fun one, or linebacker. But he asked specifically using Thieneman. Oh, there we go. Safety, the Bears rookie that the Vikings should have taken, Thieneman, who I liked.
Yep.
How would you go about evaluating rookies for IDP? So let's talk about Thieneman really quick.
Yeah.
For the Bears, first round pick.
For a player like him, he landed in an ideal position. We love Caleb Downs as a prospect, and he's going to do well. But like you had mentioned earlier, Isaac, too, that defensive back position is so volatile that like it's tough to predict. Like you're away from the ball, so it's going to be there's not a lot of predictability when it comes to that. Sacks are one of those things that you can kind of think about. There's some pressure rates that happen for players, and over a couple 2 or 3 years, players have consistent pressure rates. Well, if you put pressure on the quarterback, eventually you're going to fall into some sacks. Mm-hmm. You gave the example of like an Xavier McKinney who plays away from the ball. That 2 years ago he was like the defensive back 2 when he had like 8 picks. Last year he was defensive back like 18 because he just wasn't getting those picks. So it's not that he played less, he just wasn't getting those big plays. So a player like Thieneman, who landed in an ideal spot, the Bears love their defensive backs, and we just saw 2 seasons ago, CJ Gardner-Johnson was there. He played really well when he was on the field. Jaquan Brisker played really well when he was on the field. So Thieneman is like one of our favorites, and it would not be a surprise if he outscored Caleb Downs this year. So
I could actually see that. You want to land also the defense around you matters. Like while I like Caleb Downs and he might shoot up more tackles because of it, that defense, unfortunately, even though I liked some of the moves the Cowboys made, they might be giving up some really big plays that really don't have a lot to do with Caleb Downs because the DBs in Dallas are really suspect. So I think situation matters too. Obviously, Travis Hunter. This was the argument my dad made, because if he gets any offensive snaps that vault him, is that why you've got him number one?
It is, and like we said, if your scoring is such, and that's why it's so important to know your scoring. If you're going to be rewarded for a defensive back, in this case Travis Hunter, scoring offensive points for you, even if he goes out there and has, like, as a defensive back, 3 or 4 tackles and 1 pass breakup. Well, if you get 2 points for a tackle, 3 points for a pass breakup, that's a 9-point day, which is pretty average for a defensive back. But now you throw on, if you go out there and he has 2 or 3 catches for 30 yards, that's 6 more points. Now all of a sudden you're looking at like a 15 or 16 point day, and that's not even having a touchdown or an interception or anything out of your defensive back. And if you can get 15 or 16 points week in and week out at the most inconsistent position in all of IDP, you're winning. And so that's why we have him vaulted where we do.
I like the Nick Cross, number 5. That's mine. My dad's got Tyke Smith, Kyle Hamilton's amazing. Emin Wari, man, was such a stud on that Seahawks defense last year.
And he was a rookie last year. So, you just mentioned like Thieneman, like it's very easy for them to creep into these territories of being productive players right out of the gate. And, and you mentioned players around them. If you look at the Chicago defense, their linebackers aren't great this year. TJ Edwards is kind of banged up. I think he's already started the season on the PUP list. And so now all of a sudden you're looking at those leaky second level. Well, if a running back, a lot of Green Bay, Josh Jacobs runs here are going to get through that line of the defense. And pretty soon they get to that second, that third level of defense. Now all of a sudden Thieneman is going to have to start making all those tackles. Josh Jacobs is going to keep running the ball a lot. So.
Also, Peter was like, no, the Vikings shouldn't have taken him. He's on the correct team. He's another Bears fan. I know way too many of these freaking Bears fans. It's killing me. Yep. Hey, question for you on that defensive rankings. That was not including rookies, right?
Oh, we have everything too. So like if you go back, you can just do
this is excellent.
Rankings of just the IDP rookie rankings. You have the IDP and offensive combined rankings for redraft and dynasty. So legit, I mentioned it earlier, like I think we're one of the few sites that have that dual piece. And a lot of our data is taken from dynasty startup drafts. And so it's not just like this ambiguous data that we're pulling out of the thin air. It's actual data that we have some amazing smart cookies that are just like scraping the sleeper data and combining all this stuff. So it's awesome that they can put all that stuff together, and way above my pay grade. So
absolutely. Terry, I saw it. I'll check it. I'll talk about it in a little bit. Med, you got any questions? I mean, this website's freaking amazing.
I was going to say the website's pretty much nailing it all for me right now.
Do you want to, I was going to pull up Sleeper, but if we want to go off your rankings, I wanted to do a mock draft, but Ned, sorry, go ahead.
So I do have a question. So everyone knows, of course, of the Myles Garretts and the Max Crosbys and everything like that. Is there a particular defensive player that you feel, let's go boom or bust? First one being someone that a lot of people really don't pay much attention to. Who do you think is going to be that dude that really elevates their game this year, whether it's for a contract or just right system or anything like that? And then on the next note, who do you think is actually going to regress? Who's going to be a player that people are going after that is not going to meet expectations?
Yeah, so depending on position or just across all of defense?
Across all boards.
So actually this was in our redraft article that we had 6 of us working on it, and we all threw in a breakout candidate, a sleeper, and a fade, because everyone at some point is draftable. And so rather than just saying they're going to be a bust or do not draft, we have those like the fade. So like, I'm not going to take him at value. I'm going to let somebody else do that. So for me, my fade this year was Eric Wilson, Vikings linebacker. He had a resurgence year last year in that Brian Flores' defense. We were all in on Ivan Pace being the dude there, the second linebacker. Blake Cashman is like, we love the cash man. So, we're always looking for that second linebacker in that Brian Flores' defense. And last year we were all in on Ivan Pace, and then all of a sudden Eric Wilson, who had one really good year before that came out and had like an LB3 season, LB4. He had a ton of sacks. So for me, he was my easy fade just because I don't see a player that, an 8-9 year vet. Kudos for him for being in the league for 8 years, but I just didn't see him returning on investment. So he's going to be an easy fade for me this year. And my sleeper, my breakout is always going to be a defensive back because I'm always trying to fade that position. I'll let everyone else take the Derwin James, the Taki Smiths, the Antonio Winfield guys. I'm always looking at like who's going to be that no-name guy that's just going to be like, where did this guy come from? And for me, I have two of them. I have Deontay Trader. He's the safety right now for the Dolphins, and he's just one of those guys that the team's going to be bad. Their defense is going to be on the field a ton.
A lot.
Wait, are you predicting the Dolphins are going to suck? No way.
They do have an ex quarterback of the Green Bay Packers on their team, so they can't be too bad. But like you mentioned,
they can.
I think every projection for mock drafts already has them picking number 1 overall next year already. So we'll just say like that defense is going to be on the field.
I like them or the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Arizona Cardinals. I think I'll be up there with them.
It will be.
Honestly, another team that division. I'm not sure if I like the Jets that much either. I think the Dolphins and Jets are going to be fighting for bottom feeder of the AFC East.
Somebody's got to win those two matchups, so somebody's going to have a better record. So that hurts. Arizona's a good call because they play in probably the toughest division in all of football right now. So, but
I love some of their playmakers, but I just don't like the defense. I don't know about the QB. I don't know about the offensive line. Even though they got Jeremiah Love, this might be a situation where, even though he's got more weaponry around him, he might be getting killed like Genty did last year because there just wasn't enough around him.
And so I always try to find players that are like those late players are going to be on some bad defenses on the field a lot. Teams are, like you got a Buffalo going against you, and the fourth quarter, they're just running the ball 13, 14 times on these drives, just trying to kill the clock. So for me, Dante Trader is one of those guys. And then also sticking with your Arizona Cardinals, another defensive back I really like this year is Adrian Taylor Demerson. He's replacing Jalen Thompson. He's going to be one of those players that Budda Baker has been like the idol.
The only one really on that defense.
He is. He's really good. But Father Time's undefeated, so eventually that torch is going to have to get passed. So I really like him as a breakout, and you're getting him as like DB 35, DB 40 in drafts, and if I can get 13, 14 points out of my 8th, 9th round pick versus 14, 15 points out of my Caleb Downs in the 2nd round, like sign me up for that all day. So
I agree. I like it. Man, good one. That's a good question. Okay, I want to get some of your thoughts on our recent draft, okay? So I'm gonna have to but I want to talk about both of our picks.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have Med go first. Let me get on the team. So we're in the same league together. I had 2. I'll probably win.
So we're
I have 2 dynasty leagues. I have 2 dynasty leagues.
Okay. So he's being nice by talking about ours. So I went with 2 players. One, of course, I'm really high on. So you're going to hear offensive rookies, but I do want to know what your take is on the Las Vegas Raiders defense. I think that they're going to actually be superb this year. They did a lot of moves in the offseason, and of course, that's before they brought back Max Crosby, which I think is just going to set it off. Only question I have with them is the back end of their defense. I think they're loaded on the front 7, though.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are going to be one of those surprise teams that have, by the end of the season, we're like, this defense was really good. Like you mentioned, they brought in a lot of help on the defensive side. Their linebacking core is totally revamped. They picked up an ex-Packer, Quay Walker. They brought in Kobe Dean, so their linebackers are legit, like two top 24 linebackers in the league. Like you mentioned, Max Crosby's there for now. Is he going to be there by the season's end, or are they going to actually trade him? But they also brought in Jeremy Chin is there in the back end. And then they drafted Trinidad Stukes
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
He's
Yeah.
going to be an awesome nickelback player too. Like he was like, there were some circles of him going top first round pick, and so they got him in the second. So I think that defense is going to be much improved. So I really like what they're building there, and I love the approach that their offense is taking. Is like, okay, let's stick Cousins out there for a couple weeks. Let's get Mendoza's. You know, they've shown that not throwing those first picks out there right away is successful long term for them. So, you know, just kind of going that let's play the long game there.
So this was one of the trades I pulled off. This was for, I believe, for pick number 2. This was for Carnell Tate at no, sorry. This was, I ended up getting the number 2 and 3. This was for number 3. I traded, which I took Jadarian Price. I traded a 27 second, which is a really good draft, and 2/3 this year. Thoughts?
Smash win. And really, like when you're looking at these leagues, and then, you know, without knowing the nuances of the league, how deep are your benches in this league?
Here, I'll show you the team. So that was one of the trades, but your bench, he expanded it. You get 10 extra spots, but we got 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 receiver, a tight end, 2 flex. So this is my team now. I've got Hertz, Genty. I flipped my 27 first and something else in a long time ago. I'm hoping Jacobs doesn't get suspended. I have Amon-Ra St. Brown. I got Carnell Tate in another trade I'll show you in a second. Okonkwo, Travion Henderson as well, so I'm banking on youth. Michael Pittman, Fairburn, which is okay. It's a total team defense with Texans D, which I think is awesome. Trevor Lawrence might start over Hurts. Who knows? I have Jadarian Price I could flip up instead of Pittman if he breaks out. And then I still have McMillan and Horton. And I have George Kittle if he gets healthy, and Sadiq I can throw in. We added, I think it's like a few extra bench spots. So I've got 3 extra right now and a taxi squad. And if anybody goes on IR.
Yeah, and so the thing about in Dynasty, if you're like 2-3 years into it and you have a pretty established team, like you already do, trading multiple picks to like move up is a great deal, because what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up cutting talent anyway. And you know, like in the beginning in startups, having a lot of darts is a great thing, because you want to throw as many things at the wall you can and hope one of them sticks. But as you've been in a dynasty league for 2, 3, 4 years, now all of a sudden you have like accumulated this talent between drafts, between waiver wires, between trades, and then it gets to like that cut down time. And for those of you that play Dynasty know exactly what I'm talking about, like trying to decide which one of these to cut, because they almost end up like your kids, like where you don't know which one to get rid of. So I love deals like this where you're taking multiple late picks and just moving up and getting a one established player. So I think that's a home run win.
I wish it told me the right one, because it doesn't tell me which pick. That was for pick number 6 for Sadiq. I still think it was worth it. This is for pick number 3. I gave up Roma Dunze and a second in Gunnar Helm, and I landed Jadarian Price here. So the previous trade was for Kenyon Sadiq. I still, I hate giving up on Rome, but I got Jadarian Price out of this, so I think it was worth it. But what's your thoughts?
On this one, I think it's kind of a pick your flavor. If you believe in Rome with, like
I think Luther Burden. There's a lot of competition for targets on a run heavy team, and while I like Rome's talent, I think Luther Burden. I think Colson Loveland's going to be their number 1 guy getting target share, but that's a lot to split around on a 2-headed monster running team. And Caleb also uses legs, so it's almost like a 3-headed monster on the ground. I just didn't know if I saw number 2 receiver potential.
Yeah, it just depends on what you think about the vacated targets there with DJ Moore. Are they gonna?
True.
That's just kind of the. To me, Rome is a great best ball target, because he's going to have those 3, 4, 5 spike week games throughout the season. But like you mentioned, season long, he's probably a little tougher to roll out week in and week out. The 1 week you have him on your bench, he's going to go off for 8 catches, 80 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and then you put him in your lineup and he has 2 catches for 30 yards the next week. So.
Exactly. And then here's the last trade, and I'm going to go to Med's team because I want to show off both, and then we'll see if we have time for a trade. That was for pick number 3. This is for pick number 2. This is for Carnell Tate. I took him there. I gave a Cortland Sutton, Jaden Higgins, a 26 4th and a 27 3rd, and I got Carnell Tate.
I love it. I think Tate's going to be for sure the target monster with Cam Ward.
Yeah, that's my thought too.
Yeah, with Jaden Higgins, he's on a run-heavy team. They want to run that. Their defense in Houston is so good. They're going to be winning late, and you're not going to be wanting Stroud to win you games. You want Stroud to be a game manager, and that's why they brought in David Montgomery. So getting rid of Higgins, who is maybe the second or third target on this team, that's a great move. Cortland Sutton probably lost out when Waddle went to Denver because Denver gave up a lot to get Waddle. So Peyton has a plan for him, so he's definitely going to see that. So Sutton's going to be a lot like Rome Odunze in the last trade. He's going to be a great best ball target, but trying to put him in a position weekly is just going to be maddening for your team. And Carnell Tate, I love his talent. I love the tape. I just think he's going to just be what Brian Thomas Jr. was his rookie year for Jacksonville. So.
And I made one more trade. I traded 2 fourths, a fourth next year and the year after. And I landed Chig Okonkwo because I was a little worried about Sadiq's injury. And if he starts strong and Kittle's going to be on the pup, he already is. So I'm going to go ahead and move him down to IR. So I'm making moves right there. But I wasn't sure. And Jatavion, I don't honestly, I got to see a lot more. So, there's a chance Okonkwo, he's going to be the starting tight end in Washington, it looks like. And maybe, I think there's a solid chance he gets decent target share from Jaden Daniels. So that was my 4th draft day trade. That one's a much smaller one. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you watching, man. See you, Peter. Any thoughts on that? One's a smaller one, but any thoughts there?
I love those deals because those third and fourths, chances of them being on your roster at the end of the season aren't great. But Okonkwo is probably going to be, like you said, the target tight end there. And Washington's offense channeled to the ball, the tight end the ball last year. If you guys had Zach Ertz down the stretch last year before he tore his ACL, even at age 34, he was balling out.
Killing it, man. Yeah, I loved it. I had him. It was great. And then he tore his ACL and it was over.
Yeah. So. And so with Okonkwo there, I love that, especially if they don't bring anyone else in. You got Scary Terry, you got the rookie with Antonio Williams there. And then Okonkwo, that's your, Rashad White is probably going to be your second leading receiver on that team behind McLaurin. But if you have Okonkwo as your tight end too, I think you could do a lot worse.
And if Sadiq pans out, then that gives me another option. The only mistake is that I have no 27 picks and I only have one in the 28. But I did some previous trades where I landed Travion Henderson and Genty, and then I got 3 dudes in the top 6 here, and they were 3 dudes I liked in Kenyon Sadiq. I love the talent, the 4.3 speed, but I'm really liking the ceiling there with him. Jadarian Price, I think, has a really good chance to take the job in Seattle. And then you talked all about Carnell Tate. I don't know if he's going to be a receiver 2 for me right off the bat, but that's where I got him slotted. So we'll see how it works out. But
I think that's going to surprise a lot of people this year too, because Pittman.
I hope so. It's a PPR.
Pittman
too.
does well with what Rodgers has left in the tank. He's not going to be throwing those deep balls to DK Metcalf, so he's going to do a short intermediate passing game. That's Pittman's realm. That's Freiermuth. So I think those 2 guys are going to have kind of a resurgence year this year in Pittsburgh. So
I agree. Ned, any thoughts? I'm going to kick it to your team.
You got a solid team. You definitely are in win now mode.
But still,
yeah,
across the board, there's.
I also got some flyers down here. I don't think Coleman will figure it out, but got a couple taxi squad guys. It's a lot of young dudes, so I don't know if it wins this year. But I liked what I saw from Price. I was like, if he could take that job, he doesn't have a lot in the way of competition because Charbonnet is coming off an injury, and the only guy there is really, I don't believe in Homer. I think that's his name, is Emmanuel Wilson, and he's decent, but he's not a 20 carry per game guy. He can do it in limited doses, but as I saw with Green Bay last year, he's more of a complimentary back. Right. So all right, let's kick it to Med's team, and then we'll see. We're already at 40 minutes. I'm having a blast though. We'll see if we have time for a mock. But Jeff, man, you've been absolutely killing it. All right, let's go to Med's team.
So who won last year? Did one of you guys win this thing last year or what?
No, I missed the playoffs by one game. Ed, did you make the playoffs last
I
year?
made the playoffs. I got to the second round.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dynasty or fantasy playoffs they're like the lottery ticket. Like the season is like where the skill comes in, setting your lineups, doing all the trades and free agents, but then when you get to the playoffs, it's your 3-week lottery tickets. So
how do you see it? Oh, here.
Yeah, we have one player that didn't even win a single game last year.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too mean about her, but yeah. Okay, so Med, who's your quarterback, man?
Right now, it's probably going to be Cam Ward because I got C.J. Stroud as my other quarterback, so I'm not exactly thrilled about that. I really went for youth last year, which is why you see Xavier Worthy. And my top pick this past season was Omar Cooper Jr. from the New York Jets. I just think that he's going to be an absolute stud in that system, especially with a young quarterback, Cade Kaepernick, coming in out from Clemson. Go ahead and scroll up real quick. I did bring in Arroyo last year for Seattle, so I think I'm all right there. But, of course, my beast is Jonathan Taylor. I really got some studs at receiver if they stay healthy. Ladd McConkey,
I like the Dowdle
Malik
pickup
Neighbors.
too. He could get some – like if he steals that job from Warren, he's been productive the last couple of years.
And he has a good chance of doing that. I mean, he is a solid player. I also got Chuba as a legitimate backup who, after Rico Dowdle left to go to Pittsburgh, it actually came out really well.
You had the handcuff, and now you got two. Look at that.
Yeah, exactly. So then all of a sudden, I got a team that looks like a team now. So,
especially if Vlad comes back and looks like he did his first year. Like that's huge.
I think Mike McDaniel's running the offensive coordinator for the Chargers is going to be night and day difference for that offense. They're still going to want to run the ball because that's just a Harbaugh thing, but I think they're going to be able to sprinkle in enough wrinkles with McDaniels, and they're talking about Herbert reinventing his throwing style and timing. And when you hear timing throws with a quarterback, that just screams like a Ladd McConkey type play because he's all about the timing and nuanced routes. So that's what you love to hear.
Great breakdown. Jawan Johnson was solid last year. I had him for. Did they pick up a tight end at the draft? Remind me.
Oscar Delp
picked
from
up two.
Delp.
Georgia.
That's right. They got Delp, and who was the other one?
They went into free agency and brought in. I can't remember the name, but there are two new tight ends in New Orleans, if I remember correctly.
Well, they drafted Tyson as well at receiver, so there's gonna be a lot more competition. I actually liked Shuck. I like Shuck. I hoping this is going to be fun. Like that was one of the biggest surprises last year. If you're giving me surprise, because I didn't even know if he was going to be an NFL QB, and he showed some actual promise. So I think the Saints thought that as well because they really loaded up.
Yeah, anytime you can tie yourself to like good young coaches, like McVay, you want to have Rams on your team. I think Kellen Moore is going to kind of be that next kind of like coach you want to tie players to. They have an offense that's going to be like potent this year. They brought in ETN. They brought in Tyson, like you said. They've got Olave there. I mean, they've got a legit offense, and that defense is ugly. So they're going to have to put up some points to win some games. So, and for offensive fantasy football, that's what you love to hear. We love to hear Civ defenses and
Noah Font from Seattle. That's who it was. But man. And they still have Kamara if he's got anything left, which is a big if. But I'm with you. I think this could be. You nailed it too. That's what my problem. I liked what you said earlier, Jeff, with the Texans because they're not, especially after the playoff game that Stroud had. I think there's a lack of confidence there. They're not going to publicly say that in Houston, but they're going to ride that defense that is stellar. They're going to ride that defense and they're going to try not to have him make mistakes. Whereas you have teams like the Saints and some like the Cardinals, honestly, bad defenses. They're going to need to score points just to stay in these games. Yep. And the good thing for the Saints is they're not in that strong of a division. And I like what Carolina's doing.
Too. Yeah, I was just going to say that too. Just the defense or the division you play in kind of dictates that kind of offense that you're going to need. If you're in the AFC South, like you're not really scared of Indy or the Titans, if you're Houston, Jacksonville kind of showed last season that they got an offense, but there again, if you can shut down that offense, you only need to score 14, 17 points to win a game. But if you look at that like NFC South, you are going to have to put up some points to win those games because there is not a defense that's scary. Carolina just lost a player on, I'm trying to think, they were just brought him in. Oh yeah, the second-year guy, Nick Scorton. He just went down with an ACL tear on the first day of training camp. So now all of a sudden that defense gets ugly too. Atlanta's defense isn't going to scare anybody. We just mentioned the Saints. The Buccaneers defense lost one of the great linebackers, Levante David. Like all of that's going to be an offensive division there. So.
Oh yeah, I picked up Randall as my second pick. That was my he's a backup to Derrick Henry, and he has a lot of Derrick Henry's attributes. So that's more of a stash right there.
I love that pick.
So
and I like the Wilson. I mean, he outproduced Marvin Harrison last year. My dad's got a Marvin Harrison jersey and has him in both of our dynasty leagues. I actually offered him a trade today. He turned it down because he's still riding out hope, but he has not looked the part of a top 5 pick of a former Hall of Famer. We're going to see. Maybe they could figure it out. The QB situation has not been great. Jeff, I don't know how me and Med, especially both of us, have strong thoughts on Kyler Murray. And I think the Vikings made a big mistake picking him up. I think I'm not a
better
believer.
pick than what they had.
It was better than what they had. I mean, what they had was nothing. And at least Kyler Murray can give you a month and a half of solid play until Call of Duty comes out and his body breaks down every year, like it's happened for the last 4. But Arizona did have some quarterback uncertainty. So I don't know if that's going to be any better this year. I think they're going to be in the running for one of the quarterbacks next year. And then they're surrounding the future QB with talent. He's not on the roster yet.
Yeah. And next year is the draft class. If you need a quarterback, that's the one that right now on paper looks to be the year. You obviously got Arch Manning, you got Mestemaker, you've got the kid out of Oregon that almost should have probably came out this year. Why am I drawing a blank on him?
Dante
Moore. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
thank you. My brain is absolute mush. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there's a ton of
first day of work after summer. I'm a teacher, Jeff. It's my first.
Same.
Like I had PDs. Oh, I used to do special ed.
Oh.
Now I'm doing gifted algebra and 8th grade math. But it was my first day back at my school today. And for whatever reason, my body was like, hey, you're waking up at 4:15 when I normally wake up at like 7 or 8. And all summer it was like 9 or 10. But last week I did much better. I didn't have to get until like 8:30. I don't know why, but it was like, hey, you're waking up. I guess I was excited. 3 hours early. So
yeah,
I made it barely.
The Sunday Scaries. I get it. I teach too, so I understand that.
What do you teach?
I teach 5th grade this year. I've been
nice.
elementary my whole career. I was like 1st grade, 2nd grade for about a decade, and then I finally graduated to 5th grade after 10 years. So
nice, man.
Yeah,
it's my first time at a K-8. I've done. I was an 8 in high school. I tried a semester of elementary. I would try it again, but I've done 6th, 7th, and 8th for the last. This is year 10 now. So
okay,
yeah,
congrats.
Yeah, man, awesome. A fellow teacher. I like it. So, Med, you got McPherson at kicker, Raiders D. You got another D? You got
I got all the D's.
Was the plug for the
he's
Raiders
got Buffalo,
earlier.
Chicago.
That was the plug for the Raiders D earlier. So
yeah, and I mean, like, I was expecting the Bears defense to do something last year. They did not. I do like Jacoby Myers in Jacksonville right now. Parkinson, we'll see what happens, but Higbee has kind of got that on lock. But it's very safe to say that both the defense for the Buffalo and Chicago will probably be getting released.
And they drafted Claire. I drafted him in the other league. I don't know if any tight end is ever going to be that great with Stafford, but Stafford might only be QB there for another couple of years, and maybe Ty Simpson will like tight ends. So we'll see.
The hard part with the Rams is they run like 13 personnel. They run 3 tight end looks. So most teams run, like 11 personnel with 1 tight end or 12 personnel with 2. The Rams are running out 13 personnel like religiously. So it's so hard to like pick the tight end of the week there, at least with a team that runs like with 2, like, okay, I've got I can run Oscar Delp, or I'm looking at, Juwan Johnson. But the Rams, they really, really mess with you.
Yes.
Jeff, I
yes.
don't want to steal too much time. How long do you have? Do you have to go in about 10?
I could talk football all night long, so let's do it.
I'm running on little sleep, but I want to do a mock. So I think we do a round or two, and we can, honestly, I think we'll rotate on the picks, but I want to get your guys' takes. We can zip through it. Med Scott, I like the Randall pick. That could be very interesting. We've had some thoughts on that.
In the draft. When did you get Randall in the draft?
We had 4 rounds. When did you take him? Was it 3rd round or 4th? Med?
2nd.
You took him in the 2nd.
Yeah.
That's right. Hey, but you got Cooper as well.
So we found out afterwards, like midway through the draft, and I was wondering because my buddy was drafting some free agents in this draft, so it wasn't just rookies. And I was like, "Oh shit! I didn't realize that we could do that."
I totally forgot to tell you that too.
And if that would have been the case, because I was really there was a David Njoku was on the board in the 4th round, and I wanted to trade up to grab him. But I didn't really have enough trade equity to really just get them. So
hey, now you know. My bad.
Yeah.
Too. Oops.
Dang it, Isaac.
Well, you forgot the draft was happening in general, so you have.
I got all my picks.
I do not have all my picks. I forgot to show that. Oh no, I did. I don't have a 20. I don't have anything in 27 right now, which could be a mistake, but. Like Jeff said, I liked the team to be a fringe playoff team. If 1 or 2, or if I get lucky and 3 of these rookies hit, I think it's a contender, but we'll see. I also need Jacobs to not get suspended and to stay healthy. So,
Right.
and I'm banking on Travion. I love the potential. I think he's going to steal the job from Stevenson gradually. And I like Genty. They finally got some more talent there. So we'll see. Finally got a quarterback, maybe. So, all right, let's do a mock draft. We're going to do new. Ooh, how do we do? Oh, shoot. I haven't done one of these in a minute. We're going to claim. No. I don't want to do 12. I want to do. I always do this.
Claim. Just commish pick each pick as we go through. So you can right click.
Yeah, there's a way to do it. I always do it on the phone. Can you help walk me?
I never do this on the computer. On the pick, underneath team 1, if you right click on 1.1, so just go down just a little bit. Actually, right into the pick block. There you go. If you click on each of those boxes individually, underneath your team name there, you can assign a player to that pick.
Well, okay, I've done this on, I should have played with the computer more, but it was first day. Hold on. There's a way. And if I can't figure it out, then there we go. We're going to do rookies only. We're going to do 12 teams. We'll do 60 seconds per pick. We'll do 12. We're doing rookies only. We'll do PPR. I think we're good, right?
IDP.
Oh, IDP. You're right. There we go. Okay. And then do I just hit, and then tell me what do I do on this?
I think if you just go down just a little bit into the second, those picks, if you just click on one of those boxes right there for the the 1.1, the 2.1, you can right click and then a set player to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can insert that player for us. We wouldn't be able to claim all 12 teams, so I think that's what you're gonna have to do.
And there was one more thing I wanted to do really quick. Draft settings. It was the number of rounds.
Well, go to 4 teams also. We'll let the computer do something. General settings?
Or general? So rookies only. Yeah, I wanted 4 rounds, but we're only going to do a couple rounds anyways. That's fine. Okay. Sounds good to me. Did it work?
So you're going to have to go to start draft. Purple button up on the top there and let it rip.
It didn't work. Weird. You see how there's still 12? Yeah, no, that's fine. All right. Well, Jeff, I'm gonna give you first pick. We'll just run through. We'll circle it. I don't know why it wouldn't change.
I get the first pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you first pick.
It's always Jeremiah Love, and if it's not Jeremiah Love, you're trading out of this. Even in a super flex, it's Jeremiah Love. So
absolutely. And to be honest, if this guy's what we think he is and Arizona gets a line and decent quarterback play, he should be great. Yeah. Matt, anything to add about Jeremiah Love? You think he'll play?
I mean, he's the stud. I mean, there's no one else to really actually go after at this point.
Exactly. I agree. I'm sorry that this didn't work. I'll mess with this in the meantime because we're going to do more mock drafts. So I don't know why it's being stupid. All right. So we're taking Jeremiah Love. Oop, no. Wait. Okay.
Oh, well, go for it.
Pause.
Just let it go.
Okay.
It's going fast.
Oh, then you got it on Snake too.
I know. I tried. Yeah, we messed this up. Damn. Great show until now. It's
good.
I want to review these picks really quick. So they took Mendoza too. What do you guys think of that? Because I think that's.
I like it.
If it's a super flex league, I can justify it. But if it's a one quarterback league, I'm not touching Mendoza until 8-9.
It also didn't add IDP, which is stupid. I want to get out of this. Tell you what, I'm gonna. Yeah, let's back out. Let's try one more time. I'm gonna try to set it with the right settings right away before it even goes in. So we're doing linear. We're doing IDP. Yep. We're going to do 4 teams. We're going to go and say 60 seconds, rookies only. Let's see if it'll update. There we go. Anything else I need to fix? Now that it actually did it this time. I don't know why it wouldn't. I clicked update last time.
You want to do a 12-team league, right?
No, we'll do 4. We'll give the computer 1, but anything else? And
so if we only draft 3 rounds, we're only drafting 12 players.
Oh, you're right. We'll go through. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's go ahead and do 12.
Just do 12, and then let's just each take like every 4th pick. We'll just do that. So
perfect. I like it. Okay, so that's the part you're gonna have to help me with.
That's right. So
I've done this on my phone.
Don't do anything. Don't start the draft. Just like right click underneath the 1.1 and put Jeremiah Love in there, like set player. It'll if you like right click on there, set player, and then just type in Love in the search. There you go.
Okay.
And then now you just kind of have to do that for each one. So
okay. Now we got it. Thank you, man. I was like, why is it not? Yeah, I just when I hadn't done one of these. Yeah, this is the first mock draft we did this off season. So okay, so you know what, Med? I'm gonna go 3rd. Who would you take number 2?
I would take Carnell Tate. It just makes perfect sense. You look at what he's going to be down there in Tennessee. They do have Wendell Robinson, which I do like him as a breakout player this year. But Tate is, I mean, he's number 1 for a reason. The close second, in my opinion, would be Mekhi Lemon.
I love it. I traded up to get Carnell Tate number 2. Jeff, you talked about him earlier. I think he's going to be spectacular. If it works with Cam Ward, I see the talent. I would have liked a little bit more speed, but the guy is extremely polished. I see receiver 1 ceiling, and he's the only receiver I feel that confident about in this draft with Tyson's injury issues, and Lemon's got Devonta Smith in the way. Any other thoughts on Tate?
I just was going to say he's going to be a target monster. He's going to just get peppered with targets. You know, I liked what Tennessee is doing, but they don't have the running game to compete with Spears or, you know, they just don't have that piece there that's going to help them out. You know, and then they've got
come
the
on,
kid they brought in from the Giants, Wendell Robinson. He's going to do really well in the offense too with Dable.
And they got A.O. Maynor and they got DK, but I don't see either of them probably taking many targets. I like DK's athleticism, but he looks like a special teamer to me.
All right, Isaac, who you got here at 3?
I'm gonna go with it's funny as Shadarian Price went this high in one draft, and I think he went like 4 in the other one. And I'm very, very tempted to take him, but I still like, even with the injuries, I really like I think Tyson's the pick here. I love Mendoza, but he doesn't run enough and he doesn't have receivers yet. I love the potential of Lemon, and I could see him outscoring Tyson, but I think Olave's got the, even though Olave's in his way, he's probably one concussion away from not playing again. And I just see, I mean, you could argue Tyson's talent is matching Tate. I see, if he's healthy, I could see a receiver one in the future here.
Yeah, and like the concussions are a scary thing, like with Olave there too. So, and like we said, we want that piece of those Kellen Moore offenses. So,
exactly.
Pick 4 for me. This is easy. If it's going to go this way, I'm going Mekhi Lemon. This should probably be the top 4 picks in like 90% of your drafts, unless you have, like just starving at running back. But Lemon was very productive at USC. I could make an argument here for Jadarian Price to go for, but I'm gonna stick with the talent.
Love it, man. Matt, any thoughts?
I like Lemon a little bit more than Tyson, talking about that, because if you really think about it, everyone's just one hit away from getting hurt and out of the NFL. I just think that Tyson had his injury history would kind of scare me a little bit with his legs and all that. But either way, I mean, it's like a 1A, 1B, 1C type deal with, of course, Tate being 1A, and then I guess you would say 2A, 2B. So either way, I think that you're coming up roses on either one of these picks.
Love it, man. And you are up. Who do you want at number 5?
Oh, I'm going to take some Jadarian Price. I just think that with the Seattle Seahawks, they're not really touting it, but let's be real. They are I like that.
I love the sound effect.
I like them. I think with
the
Seahawks, they're in a mini rebuild. After one season, they lost a lot of players last year. Zach Charbonnet is dealing with some injury issues, and this is a type of running back that really fits in. And if he didn't have Jeremiah Love ahead of him over at Notre Dame, then Price would have probably been your number 1 overall pick as far as running backs go this year.
Love it, man. All right, number 6, as much as I love Mendoza here, and you could argue Conception, I'm going to go with Kenyon Sadiq. I just think it makes a lot of sense. You could start talking defensive players, I think, after him, but I love, and I think you guys both know, I traded up for him in the other league. I took him in both at number 6. I had that. I didn't get to tell Jeff that. I had that in both leagues. So I'm going to go with Kenyon Sadiq here. And Jeff, who are you thinking at number 7?
And again, this is where kind of knowing your scoring format really is important. If you're playing an Italian premium, if you're in Superflex, if you do play IDP, what kind of scoring system do you have? Do you have sack heavy? Because if you're playing sack heavy leagues, this is where a David Bailey, Arvell Reese might start sneaking in. If you play in a tackle heavy league, this is a spot to just hammer Sonny Styles, because he is going to be right now potentially wearing the green dot for the defense in Washington. So that green dot doesn't always mean points for your teams, but what it does mean is that you're going to be on the field, and that's the kind of stuff that you want to see. So if you're not in love with Omar Cooper, which I am here, and I'm going to take Omar Cooper, I could totally justify taking Sonny Styles being the first defensive player off the board here. So
I love the Omar Cooper pick. I like Conception, but I think the Browns quarterbacks, I mean, both quarterback situations are rough, but I do like Cooper. So I get it. Good pick, man. Very nice. We'll go through, we'll see where we're at 2 rounds. We could do it. Honestly, we could do a redraft one of these soon, or another one. This is a blast. Okay. So we got Omar Cooper. Med, you are up. Or no, wait, is this me?
Yep.
No, this is Med. Med, you're up.
So I am going to actually capitalize on the errors of Jeff's ways, and I am going to go ahead and get Sonny Styles because I just think he's going to be a beast. Yes. Micah Parsons was someone that was definitely will be missed, but also at the same time, I just think Styles has got it. I mean, even with the Arvell Reese really getting the headlines, you look at who made the most plays at Ohio State, and that was Sonny Styles. I mean, Caleb Downs, too. I mean, you can't go bad with either one of those 3 players as far as rookies go, but I am definitely going to be taking some Sonny Styles.
Why is it not? I clicked IDP. You guys saw me click it. What is it
You
doing?
did. You know what? Just do this. Pick someone way down there at the bottom, and we will just say, "Hey, I picked Sonny Styles there."
Let me see if it'll let me do it. Hold on. I don't think so.
Type in.
Wow. What the? This stupid thing, man. Do you guys watch? I'll mess with it some more. Okay, yeah, we'll just pick somebody down. We'll say.
Oh yeah, Carson Beck. Give me him.
Sure, just because that amazing reaction, and I don't think he's getting picked in the first 2 rounds. So we know that's Sonny Styles.
It's
okay,
even Ohio State Red.
I don't know why it messed up again. That makes me mad because I want to see the defensive players, but it's okay. I'm not going to go defense here anyways. I'm at number 9. I think this is a steal. You could argue Mendoza. It's time for him. I really like the talent of Casey Conception. I don't like the QB situation there. Shador showed a couple flashes last year. I'm torn between Conception and Jonah Coleman. My dad almost talked me into him. My only concern is the Sean Payton system. I think he's just going to rotate back. So I am going to go with Casey Concepcion here. I think it's a steal at number 9. Oops. And I'm mad this thing didn't work twice. That ticks me off. I'm sure Jeff's like, you just did this.
No. I've learned
Jeff
in
is looking at
production
us
and
like
being
rookies.
online, like everything happens. So like whenever you're trying to do something live, it never works. So
yeah, this is my first time messing with. We did this last year, but it's my first time messing with an IDP one. So of course it's fucking up now.
Oh, right.
Anyways, all right, Jeff, you're up.
If I'm drafting here at 9, my team, or excuse me, at 10, my team did really well. I just missed the playoff, or I just missed the championship game. So I'm probably like a piece away, whether it be, maybe it's that I'm a tight end away, or maybe my quarterback, maybe I had CJ Stroud and he let me down. So this is the spot where I'm going to take Fernando Mendoza here. Just thinking about where you are in the draft kind of dictates your need here a little bit too. So
love it. You guys can still take defense. We'll know what they are. I'll just pick a shitty QB for all of them. So we know Mendoza I like this pick here. I think this is a good landing spot. Med, you are up at 11, sir. What you thinking? Same mentality. You were in the Super Bowl.
Yep. So I'm looking at a receiver I was actually looking at also that I was going back and forth with Omar Cooper. I was picking 9th in our draft. And one other guy that I really do like is Denzel Boston out of Washington. This is a big body receiver, good speed. He's someone that excelled when a lot of people were going to question what he would be able to do in Washington after Romeo Dunze left. And then he basically sat there. He paid his dues, and he came out and, became I think he may have slid into the second round where Concepcion will be the slot guy. Denzel Boston will be your X receiver running the post.
Awesome, man. And this is, I think, a steal here. I love your pick. Throw Boston up. The last pick of the good analysis. Both of you guys are rocking. Dang
That's
it.
Coleman.
Hold on. Boston. I was thinking my pick. I'm going Jonah Coleman because if he does take that job in Denver, that's an ideal landing spot. They are Sean Payton does know how to get good running production. My concern is, well, J.K. Dobbins gets hurt, but will he if Jonah Coleman actually takes the job, will he actually use him like a bell cow running back? I don't think so, but I'm hoping I'm wrong here. I've heard a lot of good things about him. Jeff, any thoughts on Jonah Coleman there at the end of the first?
Yeah, I like this pick here, especially because of what you just said. It's not if J.K. Dobbins gets hurt, it's when. And I think in that offense, there's two running backs. There's the first and second down, J.K. Dobbins, and then there's the satellite third down back in R.J. Harvey. And Harvey tried to do that at the end of last season. He tried to be that bell cow, and we saw how inefficient he was. And so I think that's why Denver brought in Coleman, not to take over his role, but to be the J.K. Dobbins first and second down hammer. And if this offense is as good as it was last year, you could easily fall in the end zone, 6-7 times. I did that on purpose being a teacher. You could easily see that happening, especially at playoff time. So,
and
6,
J.K. Dobbins,
7.
he's going to be there for 5 games, and then he's going to blow out his knee.
Yep.
Or 6.5 for 7.
Yep.
I loved it. Let's run one more round, and then
let's get some defensive players on the board. This is an interesting draft. Only one IDP went.
Yeah.
Only one, and I believe Jeff, you're back up. Who do you want? Even though we can't see him.
Yeah, I'm going to go David Bailey here. Being the edge one, he's got just a super high motor, high sack floor guy, and I think being in the Jets, he's got a really good defense in New York. To be honest, I think they're going to surprise some people. Their offense might be a little shaky, but that defense is legit. And if he can, as a rookie, I can totally see maybe an 8 or 9 sack season out of this kid. Coming out of the gates, and that's the kind of player I want to get in the beginning of the second round.
So that is David Bailey, which is really funny because I got him, I said earlier, and I just flipped him in a trade, but I got him in the other league. I can't show right now, but I got him in the 4th pick in the 5th round, and I was shocked he was still there. And then I flipped him. I like Torrey Horton as a flyer, and I got a 3rd rounder out of it, so I already sold him for more. But I just couldn't believe he was there that high. I think people messed up, honestly. It was kind of nice. Med was not in that league, so it's not his fault.
And again, it depends on your scoring and format. Like this might be, for some leagues, taking David Bailey here is totally outrageous because you're not getting rewarded for sacks. But if you play in like a scoring that values that, like Big 3 scoring, where you're getting points for a quarterback hit, point for a sack, point for the yards lost, like this is exactly the type of player you're wanting to get here.
Exactly. Med, what you thinking here, man? Got a few more picks. What do you like here? The offensive players, you got Simpson, Stowers, Johnson, Keatron Allen.
I actually like Eli Stowers right here because Dallas Goedert he's in the sunset. Like you could see him riding off and everything like that. Also dealing with some injuries. Stowers was a really good tight end in college. And I think with the system that they got in Philadelphia, I think he'll fit in pretty well, depending on who their coach will be at the end of the year. So for some reason, Philly, they like firing their coaches that have success. So
oh, that's funny. You know what? Even though I think Williams could get some, there's not a lot of competition that I like after Scary Terry, and he's getting older. And I like in the handcuff. I like in the handcuff to Genty in one of my leagues here. I think I'm gonna go. Damn, there's some defensive guys I really like here. You know what? Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and go Caleb Downs because I just can't pass on the talent. I just think it makes sense here. I think he could have gone even earlier, but I think this is a great landing spot for him on a defense where I'm concerned about them giving up big plays, but he's also gonna have extra tackles because of all the gaps on that defense. And I see the talent with him. I see all pro talent. I think he's going to be a multiple time Pro Bowler in his career. I love it. And especially right now, he's going to be, he's going to be gobbling up a lot of tackles on that defense. So I'm going to go and take him here. We'll just call it Dent. Let's do it. Guys, any thoughts on the Caleb Downs? Good landing spot. Too early? What you think?
If I'm taking a defensive back, it's easily Caleb Downs here. He's such a cerebral player. He puts himself in the right spot. He diagnoses plays. He might not be the most athletically gifted player coming out of the draft, but he just makes up for it with his the cerebral part of the game. And like you mentioned, he's going to be playing in the box. He's going to be soaking up a ton of tackles. And their linebacker play for Dallas has been really suspect the last couple of years. Overshown hasn't been able to stay healthy. They tried the Kenneth Murray experiment last year. And so, hey, let's get a guy in a secondary that we've been void of talent for a lot of years. Let's put some jerseys in the seats. So
I agree. Jeff, you were up here. Pick number 4 in the second round. So this is pick number 16 overall. Who do you like?
If this is my pick, I'm running to the podium and slamming CJ Allen, linebacker for Indianapolis, down.
Okay.
I think he was drafted like 53rd
Really good.
overall in this last draft.
Good pick.
After a
This is
lot
a great
of players, after a lot of players ahead of him, there were like 4 or 5 linebackers that were drafted ahead of CJ Allen. But CJ Allen balled out at Georgia. He was like legit calling the defense on the field, not getting it called in from the sidelines, but like was on the field telling people where to line up. So you get a field general out there. They had high draft capital, and there are very little competition for snaps. Colts traded away Zaire Franklin to the Packers.
We got him.
Yeah, they've got CJ Allen there. They've got the other rookie they drafted out of Oregon, Bryce Bocher, and then they've got Akeem Davis-Daler. So like the opportunity is there for him, and Indianapolis could be in one of those situations just to be soaking up a lot of tackles at the end of the game. So I like CJ Allen's chances to win Defensive Rookie of the Year this year if he can stay healthy.
Love it, man. Great pick. Honestly, I think Franklin's going to be awesome in Green Bay, and they're going to need somebody to chew up tackles there. Mad, what you thinking here? Number, I believe, 17 overall. Who do you like?
So I'm going to go ahead and also show my enthusiasm by going defense on this one, and I'm going to get the guy that everyone figured was going to be the number 1 overall pick at one point. He's going to line up all over the place for the Jets. We're talking about Arzell Reese. If he even is half of what they think that this guy's going to be, this dude's going to be a stud. And, you could easily see him possibly having around 6 to 8 sacks in his rookie season. And, not necessarily a ton of tackles, but, they're going to be moving him all over the ball and try to figure out where they're going to place him. And it's the Jets. Their defense is going to be out there quite a bit.
I agree. I'm going to go switch it up. I'm going to go offense here. And I like the talent, and don't love the talent ahead of him at running back in Washington. And this is Keatron Allen, because if he can take this job and Jane Daniels stays healthy, that running game could be elite. When you've got a quarterback that can move, like in Chicago with, Caleb Williams, or, Jane Daniels the year before, you've got, or Lamar Jackson with Derrick Henry. When you've got a mobile QB, it opens up running lanes for that running back. And if Keatron Allen could take that job from JSM, Eckler's getting older and coming off the injury. There's not a lot of talent ahead of him. I like this landing spot for Keatron Allen. I think he's got a chance to ascend to be the RB1 in Washington. Any thoughts?
I love the pick. Washington is kind of they got Jacorsky Merritt. They've got Rashad White that they brought in. Like it's a crowded room, but I think you're on the right line here, especially with the offense being back on track, being a high scoring offense. That's what you want to kind of attach your picks to. So I like that.
Jeff, you're up, man. Pick number 19 overall.
I'm going to stick with a Washington player that I can't believe is still here. I'm going to go Antonio Williams.
I know. I almost took him.
I just think that if they haven't brought anybody yet, I know there's some Stephon Diggs rumblings, but right now he is like the default wide receiver 2.
You don't believe in the other guy, Ayuk?
Well, he's still in San Francisco, and I don't know if he's going to be blowing spit bubbles here or what pretty soon. But he's we're not there yet. So we've got somebody who is clear path to snaps, got good draft capital, was a very productive player at Clemson, and he's going to be in a very nice spot running out of the slot. So you got Scary Terry running down the sideline. Chigo Okonkwo is going to be doing his thing, and so you got a lot of opportunity for snaps here. So. And
Debo started the year strong. I know that's why they didn't bring him back, because he's aging, but there's some production there clearly in that role. Yep. And what is Terry, 31 now?
Yep.
So yeah. All right, Med. Pick number, I think this is 20. Pick number 20. 8th pick in the second round.
All right. So the next player I'm actually going to pick is Nicholas Singleton out of Penn State. I do like him actually higher than even my pick. I wanted Nicholas Singleton in the second round. There are 2 players, right? Spears and Pollard are ahead of him, but this is more of a stash pick. This dude can blaze. And when I mean that, I'm not talking about how Le'Veon Bell, LeGarrette Blount, and a few other NFL players would blaze. this dude can actually run on the field and has a decent 40. Like he pretty much can carry Penn State with no issues. Yeah, no, I'm actually kind of happy. Might be a little bit of a reach, but I'm thinking about the future at this point.
I want to take Ty Simpson here ahead of you of the next pick at number 21, the pick number 9 in the second round. But I'm going to go ahead and because I don't believe in Kenneth Walker's health, I'm going to take Emmett Johnson because if Walker goes down, that's a lot of snaps. And I don't believe in the Chiefs receivers. So I think they're going to need to run the ball. I don't see it at all with the receivers. So if Walker goes down, I think they're going to need him. And you don't know if Mahomes is healthy. So you're going to have Justin Fields try to throw the ball. Yeah, I think they're going to run it quite a bit. And I just got to see Walker stay healthy again because prior to last year, he didn't. So I think Johnson's got a really good chance to get a lot of carries post week 6 or 7 when Walker goes down, which I think is what's going to happen.
And even if Walker doesn't go down, with Mahomes coming off the injury, they're going to want to run the ball a lot to take a lot of pressure off that. Mm-hmm. So, we saw Walker thrive in a 2-quarterback Kubiak system in Seattle. And so letting him run, 17, 18 times a game, getting 5 or 6 touches, that's 25 touches a game. You don't want to use him more than that because, running backs, that's their goal is to make it to the Super Bowl. And like Seattle did, they kind of saved Kenneth Walker for that playoff run, and it worked out well. So it's a copycat league. So you're going to see a lot of teams kind of do that this year too.
Absolutely. This has been a blast. If I wasn't on 4 hours of sleep, I would do a 6-round one. I'm going to, honestly, I'd like to get you on with my dad. I think he would have a freaking blast. So I will be reaching out, but let's finish this up. Jeff, you got pick number 22.
Yep, that's right. 20. Yep.
22 overall. What you got?
Yeah, if I'm looking at the draft right now and I'm looking at this, like we've taken a lot of great running back stabs, and this isn't a really great draft for offensive talent. This is a really heavy defensive one. Mm-hmm. And so if you're playing in a league that's very rewarding of IDP, this is a time to continue that. And I would be taking Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker.
Yes. Yes. I'll do an R player right here.
Yeah.
There you
go. If this is how the draft is kind of laying out and I'm getting rewarded, again, I'm drafting here at 10. I need a piece to put me over the top. I know that Miami's kind of crowded right now with the linebacker situation. They've got Jordan Brooks. They just signed to a huge deal. He's going to kind of be the culture setter for that team, which is a great guy to build around. But Terrell Dodson's only like a $3 or $4 million cap hit. Maybe he's a little more than that. I think it's like right around $3 or $4 million for a cap hit. So they could easily move on from that. Heck, they're paying Tua $30 million to play for Atlanta this year. So they could easily move on from Dodson. And then Rodriguez becomes like a strong LB2 on a team that's going to be on the field a lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's not good for you, Falcons fans.
Med, final pick. Who do you like?
So I'm actually intrigued with this because I'm thinking, like I said before, I'm thinking about the future. I'm going to actually grab Ty Simpson here.
I was going to take it.
I think that he's going to. Stafford has one more year, and we've been saying this for like the last 4 years. It feels like his arm is bound to fall off eventually, but all due respect, Ty Simpson was brought in and he's going in the perfect situation. He's going to have the receivers there. He's going to have the running backs there. The team is pretty much already groomed for him to be there. The only thing is what's his mind going to do? And as an Alabama fan, I can tell you that his season last year was pretty damn frustrating because you had the highs for the first half and then you had the lows for the second half. If he can actually keep his mind in the game, with his physical talents, he could carry any team if he really wanted to.
Oh, for
sure.
Just
think about he was a 1-year starter at a powerhouse football team. Like if you only have 10 or 13 starts under your belt, there's going to be some growing pains there, obviously. And you like you said, you saw that last year on full display.
Yeah, the first half of the year he smoked it, he nuked it, And, he was playing against some big boys. I mean, CJ Allen is definitely like, I don't know why people are really slept on him. I thought he was actually he could have been actually your linebacker number 2, to be honest. But, it's crazy.
I really don't like a lot of players here. I was going to ask your guys' opinion. I was thinking Mike Washington, frankly. I'm not in love with this though. This is the problem with this draft is there's a lot of defensive talent, but I don't love the offensive talent. I think I want to take an offensive player here. I'm torn between. I like the potential of Jeremy Bernard. I think Branch could get the highest target share this year, but I like the depth because I think there's a good chance the Raiders, they don't have a lot of outside of Bowers. Their receivers leave a lot to be desired, and I have Jack Beck. But I think they're going to be running the ball quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Mike Washington as a handcuff to Genty, especially if Genty goes down. Then I think he's the RB1 there. So I'm going to go with Mike Washington as a handcuff here at the end of the second. I don't really love this landing spot. A lot of the defensive talent I like went off the board. Ty Simpson is gone. I don't hate some of these players. I like the potential Brazil. Ted Hurst is interesting because he's I think he's got a chance to. It's just to getting targets. The problem is it's a crowded room. Godwin is getting older, but he's still there. You got Igbuka. You got Tez Johnson there as well, and he would need to eclipse Tez Johnson just to get the 3. That's a lot of competition. Plus, I don't know if Baker's actually fallen off. I'm a little scared of the Tampa Bay situation. So Hurst was another guy. I'm tempted on Branch, but I'm going to go ahead and go with Mike Washington here.
Yeah, the Ted Hurst pick is a great dynasty stash if you know the quarterback situation, but we've seen so many wide receivers have this go to a spot and they're supposed to be good, but then the quarterback that they had there is, gone. Stafford leaves and Simpson doesn't perform like he's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do to Puka? Puka is consensus 1, 2, maybe 3 wide receiver in startups, everything. Yeah, that's with Stafford. But what happens in a year? Stafford walks away, and Simpson is 50% of what Stafford is. That means Puka is 50% of what, So you that's the piece of dynasty you have to start thinking about too. Is cashing in on these players. There's that ripple effect when one player. It's not just a one player, retirement or anything like that. There's a huge ripple effect that happens across teams when players leave or traded or get added. So that's the fun part about dynasty.
Exactly. This was a blast. Med, any final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Man, Jeff, this was a blast, dude. I want to bring you back on with my dad. This was a great time. Seriously, man, can you do you want to throw your website back up one more time? We've got over 100 people watching right now. You want to throw it back up one more time?
Yeah, I can. Definitely. I can do a little ad
here. Let me stop
for us
sharing
one
this
more time as soon as I get the screen.
Actually, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
I'll wait till he throws it up first.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So. Are we there? Are we sharing here?
There we go.
Oh. Is it good?
There it is.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, so we got the IDPshow.com. Like we said, there's so many resources on here. It's you could spend hours of scrolling through, and we've got stuff going live every day now over on Twitter. We're dropping daily IDP. We call them the IDP Minute. We just kind of run through camp notes and news for the day and kind of see what's shaking, injuries, signings, that kind of stuff. So what's your question, Med?
So my question is a lot of teams actually, because they were talking about the arms and stuff of Ruben Bain.
Yep.
And, as far as a defensive player, a lot of people went for Bailey over Ruben Bain. How would you, in your opinion, with your fantasy knowledge and predictions and everything like that, rookie-wise, how do you think they're going to compare in this upcoming season?
A lot of that has to do with how they're utilized, and I think that Bailey is going to be set up for a little more success. He plays on a little bit better defense. Tampa doesn't have that opposite edge rusher right now that New York does. New York's kind of like we mentioned earlier, they got kind of a loaded defense there. So looking at Tampa, they really are kind of void of talent. They've tried the Joe Tryon-Sharenka experiment for a couple years. That didn't work. They brought in free agents. They tried Clyde Jacansey. He just hasn't been there. So I think offenses will kind of like, hey, we can chip. We can put a tight end on that side. We can run a running back and chip Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain is a great player. He played in one of the best conferences in all of college football and was successful. So the short arm argument, I feel, is kind of overused. I think he'll still be productive. I just don't think that the surrounding cast is going to support him being as good as Bailey. Bailey's going to come in on third downs. He's going to come in on what they call like those NASCAR packages where they just like, hey, you're coming off the edge. This is an obvious passing down. You play with your hair on fire. And he's got that first step. He's got that speed and bend to get around the edge there. The Jets have really done well with players up the middle. They got the Minnesota Vikings guy, that Harrison Phillips. They brought Tavondre Sweat in from Tennessee. And so they've got a lot of high attention-seeking players on that defensive line that are going to soak up double teams and probably triple teams at times. That's going to free up Bailey just to like go. And so that's why I kind of mentioned like he could probably easily have an 8-9 sack season in his rookie year. So
I like that.
Good stuff, man. Thank you. Seriously, this was great. We did have one last question somebody asked. Said all these changes off. This is one of our friends. What do you think about the stuff that happened with Ryan and Romo? That was. Did you hear about that, man?
Oh, the OWI?
DWI? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, someone put it as an OWI when I saw it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. I don't know, man. That was a bad look. I don't even know what to like. That's yeah. Let's do it.
As long as someone didn't get hurt.
Exactly. Jeff, you guys put on a great show. Actually, wait, hold on. We put that link up. Hold on. I'm going to put the YouTube link up really quick before we boogie. But I want to say thanks to the 100 people watching, too. Let me grab the show. I'm going to put this up. And when I throw it up on Spotify, probably tomorrow, I'm going to throw up the link for the IDP show in the comments. So everybody can check
come
this
back on
Uh,
out.
anytime you guys want to talk football. Like I said, I can sit and do this stuff all day long. I love it. One of the cool things that we do on the website is we do the roster evaluation. So you can go and sign up and then get like a 30-minute Zoom call, and we'll break down your team, what players to build around, what moves to make, trades to make, players to like pick up or things like that. And that's just so fun for me because it's just like talking with, a league mate. Let's make a deal. Let's figure something out and stuff like that. So good stuff.
And you guys are killing it on YouTube. Where are we at? Almost 5,000 subscribers. That's nuts. I know it's hard. I barely got over $1,000. It's hard. You guys doing awesome. Here's all the links to the show. They're on Apple, Twitter. That's where I saw you guys on there. But my dad showed me you guys. So yeah, you check them out. Put on awesome content. Thank you, man. Seriously, this was a blast.
Thanks,
yeah, I'm gonna bring you back on with my dad too. So we're gonna have a good time.
Second,
you got another subscriber. There you go. You got another subscriber.
Thanks you. Perfect. Love it.
Yeah, sometime in August. He's in the state poker. Well, I'll give my dad a plug. He's in the he got an entry to the Arizona State poker tournament in a couple weeks. So after that, I think like probably third week of August, but I'll reach out to you and we'll lock it down. So
hopefully
in a couple weeks.
Hopefully it does well enough. You guys won't have to worry about it anymore.
Oh God, yeah. Hey, he wins. I think he's retiring because it's like over $500,000 to the winner. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. But man, you rock. Next week, guys, you can so people watching this for you guys can now tune in on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Next week, we're going to be back pretty much every week now. We've got Mike Essen coming on next week. We're going to talk top 10 Super Bowl teams ever. And then the rest of August, we're going to start with our division breakdowns. We're going to hit 2 divisions a week. So we'll do like AFC East, NFC East. We're going to run through. We got just enough time to run through all of them before the season starts, and some fantasy football previews. And I'll start hitting some fancy content on Sundays with my show with my dad. So you guys can see I moved from Fridays because I moved to Arizona to have more of a social life, so I want to free up Friday nights. So, and to be honest, as a teacher, trying to do a show on Friday nights and bring the energy is kind of hard sometimes after a full week of teaching. And I just think more people are going to tune in on Tuesday nights. So we decided to officially move it to Tuesday nights. Here's the new logo. Brotherly love right there. It's like Philadelphia.
Yep.
But Jeff, you rock, man. That was excellent content. Janae, thank you for watching. Had some new people watching. Thank you, Jess. Peter popping in. That was awesome. Terry popping in from Twitter. Love it. And get some views on Twitch. I'm going to have to keep streaming on there. So thank you guys. Over 100 people. You guys freaking rock. Missy Janae, I knew her in Texas, so she's awesome. But yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday. Top 10 Super Bowl teams ever. So maybe Meds Bears actually make an appearance. The one Super Bowl team. There's one, and they were really awesome. I think that
you have
I
an
honestly
MTV
think
video for your football team. You know you got to be in the top 10.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was going to say.
You know, I think that the Bears
After a loss at that.
I think there should be a Bears and a Packers team on there, for being all honest. Like the 96 Packers were legit. They were number one in defense, offense, and special teams. Didn't play great in the Super Bowl. Not as dominant as your Bears, but they're pretty good. I mean, there's like the 0-2 Bucks were just stupid. That was ridiculous. That they're going to.
Trent Dilfer led Baltimore Ravens. When
you didn't see that Trent Dilfer. What? How many yards do you guys think he threw for in that Super Bowl off the top of your head?
134 yards, and I'll probably take the under.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going a little bit over with that because I feel like he did that on one pass.
Okay, let me pop this up so we can all see it at the same time.
At least a third of it. I mean, Brandon Stokely. That's a good bet, though.
Let's check it out. 100 and wait, sorry, I didn't get to share it.
It's going to be right there. 150. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I got a surprise for you. Check this one out. Now, he played great in the next Super Bowl. We all know he was much better. But check out John Elway, Super Bowl 32 stats. Look at this. He only had 123 yards and a pick. He had 3 touchdowns rushing, but through the air, did almost nothing. Now, we know John Elway's awesome, and his contributions on the ground and Terrell Davis, and they beat my Packers in that game. But he actually, through the air, didn't do much. The helicopter play is famous, but I was shocked when I looked this up the other day. I was like, because I was, 10 when that Super Bowl happened. I was like, damn, he actually didn't play that good. That's crazy. So don't do that, Med, she says. Don't do that. But normally, Jeff, what we do on the show is we trash talk each other, and we pick on certain players. So this was a fun change of pace. But Jeff, I'll be definitely bringing you back on, man. That was awesome. My dad's gonna love it as a fan of the show too. So, and my dad, I'm gonna be frank and be fair. He knows way more Dynasty than I do. I'm learning. I'm a big fantasy guru, but Dynasty, I'm still learning. He watches way more videos, and a lot of it's from y'all. So I want to get you guys together. I think it'll be a great chat. Med knows all kinds of ball. He's the best. And I'm excited to see your top 10 Super Bowl teams next week. That's going to be fun. So, and everybody else watching, please go subscribe to the IDP show. And we will see you again here next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, everybody. You guys freaking rock. See you next week.
Later.